The Niger Delta Youth Employment Pathways (Ndyep) is a pilot project implemented by Payne Foundation with funding support from Ford Foundation.
The main aim of the project is to develop model pathways for youth job readiness or workforce development that provides the marginalized youths, men and women in the Niger Delta region the opportunities to secure sustainable jobs through an intensive skills development program that equips them with market-relevant skills.
The market survey and economic study for the implementation of the Ndyep program began in late 2017, while implementation began in 2018. The Ndyep project is piloted in 3 states: Rivers, Abia, and Akwa Ibom states. In the pilot phase, Ndyep provided direct vocational training and in 4 sectors of the economy, which included ICT, renewable energy, solar, agriculture, construction, and the finished leather sector.
After schooling, no job. We have been moving about. I also have a kid and wife. Based on how the situation is, my wife ran away and left my kids.
Mine was a very difficult experience because there was no certificate attached.
Blessing and Amasi were part of the teeming population of unemployed youth in the Niger Delta.
Having a young population in itself is not a bad thing because it's certainly a lot of energy that needs to be put in the right place. But the challenge right now is that the economy, though has had some times of significant growth, but that growth has not been accompanied with the relevant kind of job creation, or it's not inclusive enough as a lot of people would say.
Ndyep's intervention in the value chain recognized that most traditional skills acquisition programs have not adequately delivered sustainable results owing to the fact that they do not pay attention to what happens to the entrepreneurs they produce.
The approach being that is demand-driven, is market-led, and is based on data. The training was competency-based. And so, because it was that robust and it was broad, not only technical training, but you were preparing people with those soft skills that people often say become the success factors. So not only were they trained, but they were prepared for the marketplace.
We're given the free hands to select the right set of people. We're looking at the less privileged, the disadvantaged youth, the vulnerable youth, physically challenged youth, graduates, yes, but no job for years, and decide to take it as a skill, as a profession.
I must say, the Payne's guideline on selection is something that is worth emulating.
The Foundation for Partnership Initiatives in the Niger Delta was poised towards using effective methodologies to reach out to people using different channels and online platforms such as Facebook and several other social media. Community-based organizations were used to reach out to people at the grassroots, since these CBOs had direct links and have gained trust from the people over time. Payne utilized the youth association networks and ministries of employment using Payne's platform known as ND-Link to reach out to a vast number of young people. Payne went further to use ND-Link champions, who are basically influencers with a vast number of following, and also interfaced with the different local governments in different areas.
My name is Anita Michael. I started primary school. Then after my primary school was my secondary school, so I ended up in secondary school. I didn't have way to go again, nobody to support me, no work, nothing. I was just staring at home. So due to church service, I overheard an announcement that there is a training going on at Ibom Integrated Farm, which is PIN training. So I just have to follow and fix myself up due to my luck. So when I came here, they employed me.
Ndyep set out to position young trainees to take advantage of opportunities across the aquaculture value chain. Therefore, the training combined the nationally regulated enterprise training for agriculture with a business and personal development curriculum to build soft skills and help trainees apply business skills and a technical aquaculture training. The technical aquaculture training takes a hands-on approach, using demonstration ponds to develop skills and providing each trainee with fingerlings to raise themselves as an individual project.
Entrepreneurship, self-employment was beginning and gaining traction more or less as a pathway, and it's a solid pathway for young people to find work in an economy like what we have.
Ndyep made sustainable livelihood options either in employment or in enterprise. Ndyep carried out the training by partnering with local organizations that already had a stake in the aquaculture sector, which were specifically tasked with supporting the transition from training into enterprise by providing business advisory services and facilitating linkages to markets and to impute supplies such as fingerlings and feed, and also seeking out opportunities for supporting the youth startups with finance.
As a partnerships initiative, we work with and through partners across all our program areas. So we applied the same processes for partner selection to the Ndyep project. First and foremost, we were looking at private providers mainly, so market actors, because we had the issue of sustainability at the back of our mind.
There's just one thing that PIN did that I take particular respect to, and that is collaboration. No system exists without collaboration, and they have done well by bringing state actors.
Ndyep intervention in the aquaculture value chain is no doubt equipping the disadvantaged young people with quality market relevant skills.
The Niger Delta Youth Employment Pathways project had a target of 1,000 youths in the first year and 3,000 youths in the second year. In the first year, we trained over 1,600 youths, and in the second year we trained 3,180 youths. So it was very impressive, and I can say we've met our target in terms of number of participants. We had a target of 40% women and at least 10% persons living with disabilities. As at the end of the second year program, we had 37.5% women on the program and 5.5% persons living with disabilities.
While the training focuses on fish rearing, it also includes skills building along the value chain, such as fish drying, barbecuing, farm management, and other processing methods across the value chain. In this way, the organization plans to have young trainees positioned to work in several functions of the value chain, from breeding to consumption.
Now, I am doing my barbecue.
Presently, I'm a manager. I'm managing a farm. That's one of my short-term goals. Now, managing a farm is giving me a vast experience. I get to manage the fishes. I get to manage the poultry that has to do with the birds, the layer beds in particular. I get to manage snail, and it has broadened my experience. Now, I am into farming fully.
What have we learned in the 2-year pilot phase? We have learned never to underestimate the importance of strong partners and transparency in the selection of partners as well as trainees. They contributed significantly to the success achieved during the Ndyep pilot. Ndyep training methods integrate business and soft skills with technical skills. It provides opportunities to apply and practice different types of skills over the course of training, and we found that to be more effective.
Here this morning, these are the trainees at the background here. The activity is sorting. They are trying to separate the fingerlings, the big ones, from the smaller ones. This whole process was done by these trainees. You don't need You'll be jack of all trade, you want to do this and all that. You are making your cool money. You can go into, what's the name, tarpaulin production, what some of them are doing now. That alone, you can be getting your own money. You can go into fingerling production. You can go into, as a middle-mass fingerling supplier. You can do your raising of fingerlings and all that. You can go managing their water quality, making money from it. You can go into, like, resource persons, trainings and all that.
In fact, for the first time in life, I think I felt fulfilled. That's one of the things this Ndyep project did. And I have vowed that every project I implement henceforth, I will always work with people living with disabilities.
Other projects I've done is either they stop at training phase, some stop at giving palliatives, and it ends. But this is one project I have done that has shown me that you can pick up a youth from the street and make him a millionaire. It's possible. That's what Ndyep is all about.
So, according to PIN's plan, we don't intend training people and sending them away. We train them and engage them. So this is a good engagement. We are thinking before the end of 2021, each of the trainees here should be able to at least have 1,000 fish of their own.
The Ndyep approach is innovative and informed by evidence from research and analysis. The pilots will be used to develop the evidence based around approaches to tackling youth unemployment situation in the Niger Delta.
We also worked with a couple of government stakeholders. From the onset of the project during the research in 2017, a lot of government stakeholders and MDAs were already carried along as to what we wanted to do. We had meetings with them personally, we had learning forums where they got invited, we had a regional roundtable where we had representatives from all the 9 Niger Delta states. We've had a lot of them come on board.
Indeed, a cursory appraisal of the project shows a streak of success stories, with its intervention in the aquaculture value chain is no doubt equipping the disadvantaged young people with quality, market-relevant skills. As a performance-based intervention, targets have been achieved at 100%. And finally, regarding adoption and adaptation, with more states adopting the model.